Hello, everybody in Facebook Live Land. We are the Podguyz Podcast. I did jazz hands for a second.
I like it.
Yeah. Let's start out today. We'll start out house guests. I am Tony Kaz, followed by
Kevin Neary here.
And the ever-loving Picasso. Sparky and Stat Girl, of course. You may notice the beautiful woman right next to me here. I believe she would be on this side if you happen to look in your Facebook Live Land right here. Beautiful and very talented Liz Priestley. Thank you very much for coming on our show today. Thank you.
I did jazz hands.
Jazz hands. You can tell we're all theater. We're all theater people. Jazz hands. Of course, you guys may or may not know Liz. She is an actor, a musician. She is a vocalist, a pianist, a violinist, a entrepreneur, a dancer, a writer. You have quite.
Entrepreneur came first there. When they dancer, then entrepreneur, it just sounds terrible.
She is co-starring in a wonderful movie called Concrete Cowboys, starring Idris Elba and Method Man. I'm sorry, Method Man, right? Method Man.
Yeah.
So we are very pleased to have you on today. Thank you for taking the time to come to our humble show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It's really awesome, really awesome. We have some quick fire questions to ask you.
Okay.
But I think we're going to start in with, like every week, we have some rants going on.
Rants are fun.
Now, I seen this thing today, right? And I'm going to start out because I know Kevin's he's got something loaded up in a shotgun already. You can see it in that face. Because it looks like he needs to poop, but he's still got the thing face.
You're right there, Tony.
Hard concentration right there.
So I was driving home, right?
That was a big problem.
I think one of you guys are going to nail it, but I wrote it down. And
No. I'm going off on a whole different tangent, man. This is going to be a weird one, right? So I'm driving home on my way home, because I literally work like 35 minutes away, right? So here I am on my way home from work, and I look over on this giant billboard. And for some reason, I'm thinking, oh man, the Podguyz Podcast is going to be up on this billboard someday, and it's going to be awesome, and it's going to make me so proud, and I'll be like, it'll be awesome, and I'm going to fangirl out just like I'm doing right now. And I look over, and I see this picture of Jesus. And I'm like, whoa. I know, a big picture of Jesus, right? And in the captions, in the captions it says, turn the other cheek. In the picture right next to it, guess what it is a picture of?
What?
Donald Trump. Right next to it. And it says, I will punch you in the face.
Now, is that a pro-Trump ad or is that a bad ad? Because you don't know.
I was so confused, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm not saying this because any political affiliations. Like we have no say when it comes to politics, Liz, and we love the comedic aspect of all of the incumbents trying to run for president right now because it's a train wreck. It's an absolute train wreck for America.
It's a circus out there.
Oh, choo choo! Here comes the freaking train. Right? So here's my thought process, and I'm like, wow, Democrats really went all out on this one to say that Donald Trump would punch Jesus in the face. Donald Trump would punch Jesus in the face. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, how low do you have to sink? Like, how low do you have to sink in order to say that Donald Trump will punch out Jesus?
I wonder what he would do to Santa Claus, right?
That's true.
It's so crazy. Like it made me think, wow, that's a new like scummy low. It's a scummy low.
Tony, hold on, buddy. I guess this is how the Democrats don't know how to attack Trump, because now the Muslims look at Donald Trump like, I would punch Jesus too, Donald. I guess you got my vote.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't know where they were trying to go with it. If it's like a pro-Jesus thing where he's like, oh, I'd punch you in the face for Jesus? Or I would...
No matter how these guys are attacking each other, like now the devil worshippers are all for Trump. They're like, well, now we found our guy.
It's a possibility.
Oh, boy.
I didn't know whether I should be angered or like intrigued that it was up there and that somebody actually paid money for that banner, or not a banner, but it was like on the electric billboard.
Billboard. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean, my one buddy, he's a big Bernie supporter, so we're watching this commercial about how Donald Trump is a socialist and he wants to bring universal health care to everybody. And they were like sitting there like, is this an attack ad? You know, like I wasn't getting it. Just like,
so
weird.
weird.
They trying to scare away.
Yeah, I have no idea where they're trying to go as far as attack ads and like trying to bring people down. Like all I care, and I don't know about you, Liz. I don't know what your political affiliation is, who you're voting for. Not that it matters. It doesn't matter. Because you know what? America loses either way. America's a big loser.
It's true.
I saw an ad where Donald Trump was flipping off Mickey Mouse. And he showed his dick. You know,
I believe it.
What a jerk.
Oh boy!
I think it's a really big test on how far you can take his supporters, where people would say, like, yeah, he might punch Jesus in the face, but what did Jesus say to him? That's what I want to know. That's what CNN won't tell you. It's like, no. First of all, no.
First of all, no.
Could have been one of those Jesus impersonators. Maybe that's why he did it. You know, the guy was doing it ironically. It's probably anti-fi. The guy had a beard. They just, you're just looking at
Antifa. It's all Antifa.
And Democrats aren't any better anymore because now they got Joe Schmo, Dementia Joe, to figure out and to defend that idea. Where they're like, know what he meant when he said the thing. Didn't want to finish, I do. It's like me re-educating myself with Sesame Street and me being like, you know what, I learned all the letters, Tony. I learned all the letters.
Every single one.
C, D, and well, you know the thing. You know the rest of them. All the letters.
Say it, Kevin. Say it, Kevin. You almost got it. You almost got what I written down on the paper and what happened with Biden today. Come on, say it.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to be psychic. You can nail it.
Go ahead, Sparkles. Sparkles, what's in the paper?
Today, and he was talking about running for office. The only problem is
he said he was running for Senate.
He said he was running for.
Ah, perfect.
Mark, you put me on the spot there, like I'm that psychic we had.
He's like, do it. Come on, Kevin, read it.
Wow.
Tony, that would be great if we could replace that terrible billboard one of these days. But I don't want because I want to see the billboard.
That's really funny. It is.
Kevin, do you have anything to rant about? I know Liz has something.
Absolutely, buddy. Yeah, today is my favorite holiday, Columbus Day. Sarcasm to that idea.
That's where I thought Sparky was going in the very beginning here.
I wasn't behaving myself today.
Good old Indigenous Peoples Day.
I would rather it that way. I'm 1/3 Native American, although I look like a white guy. I'm 1/3 Native American.
That's true.
People don't care too much about it. My great grandmother, is you know the story behind that. She was about as dark as Liz right there. That was my great grandmother. So after years and years, after generations later, it kind of it fades out of you or whatever. The good stuff fades out of you. Like as you would put it. But yeah, I tried asking this guy. I tried just like gauging his reaction just to see how far in he was. Him and his wife. I'm like, hey guys, it's Columbus Day again. But don't you think they should just like change the day since he was such a rapist? Right?
I know. I'm waiting for Americo Vespucci Day.
I swear, I just nudged him. Like, don't you think maybe because he's a rapist? And he looked at me straight in the eyes. He's like, buddy, you can't change the past, right? And I said, you know what? I couldn't agree with you more. So he's in line, and He's asking for his veterans discount. So I tapped on Perfect.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Discount there for?
Yeah.
He says because they give you a veterans discount here. Why wouldn't I want it? I said, well, you can't change the past, man.
Ooh.
Can't change the past.
Boom.
So I just I Columbused him today.
You did Columbus him. You did.
Yeah, I Columbused him.
I think we should take that back for the people and really bring back Christopher Columbus to where he needs to be. He needs to be knocked off his Italian pedestal.
I've never seen a town of Wilkes-Barre come together so on both sides of the fence simultaneously defend and then be offended by a person who hasn't lived in hundreds of years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hundreds of years!
Now, Liz, just to give you a little backup about this story, right? All right.
Oh, my.
All right.
Okay.
So, Kevin, when was this? It was a couple months ago.
This was a couple months ago. Yeah, absolutely. When they were throwing. This is the only thing I read on Facebook. Right. This is when the world was going crazy with coronavirus killer hornets. Here, all it pops up in my newsfeed.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I can't believe they're doing this to him. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So automatically, I'm like, well, what's going on in Wilkes-Barre? It pops me to the thing, and it's just Columbus. They they spray painted him. They put a toilet seat over his head, and I'm like,
and they tried roping him down.
They tried roping him down.
The statue.
I assured everybody in the little chat room that Columbus cannot feel a thing because it's just a statue. He has been dead for several years now. And then the one person told me, they said, no, he was a brave man. He was a very brave and tough man to be able to ride those boats.
Liz, I had that same face, too.
The boats must have been tough. You gotta be messing with me. This guy went from sea to shining sea.
He went goddamn ham.
When we were kids, they were like, why would he travel that far? Why would a man travel that far?
Exactly.
Salt and pepper. It's like, salt and pepper? Yeah, they didn't have a lot of it, so they needed some salt and pepper and shit. They wanted food to taste better. And we were kids, and what we wanted to do, we're like, yeah, of course he wants food to taste better. Thank God for Columbus getting that salt.
This is the sadness of American education, Liz. It's the sadness of American education.
Like,
bad.
Let's do 5 minutes of investigating. Oh, yeah, wow, look at that rape and slave trick. Holy crap. Wasn't salt and pepper the whole time.
Not only rape and slave trade, but he also spread viruses to the indigenous people of not even America. He didn't even make it to America. He was only in the Caribbean.
They were known as blanket viruses because they would make sure that it was taken from a sick kid all the way over there. He'd give them the blankets, and yeah, it was a whole new class of genocide at the time. So somebody says to themselves one day, hey, we found this out, but statues are already built. Your call there, Bob. And Bob said, put the statues up there anyways, man. We're not going to return them.
Might as well leave them. Right.
Yeah, just put them next to every pizza shop so every Italian person, whenever somebody starts messing with them, shoots their gun in the air and says that they have a cousin in the mafia.
Oh,
because
yeah.
That'll continue to happen for years.
Hey, speaking of the mafia, right? Speaking of the mafia.
Later on tonight, Kevin. Later on tonight.
That's true. We have a mafia-based story, and now, Liz, we do play a story a little bit later. We do play a game a little bit later on in our story. It is called Fact or Fiction, and you're in luck today because it's Pennsylvania Man, and it's Stupid Criminals from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, awesome.
I can't wait to get into it.
Awesome.
But let's talk more about you, Liz.
Okay.
Now, give us a little synopsis of Concrete Cowboys, please.
So, it's about a 15-year-old boy who's acting up at his home in Detroit, and his mother, played by me, just figures, I'm done. I've done all I can. I need you to be with your father, and hopefully his influence will help straighten you out. And his father happens to be a black cowboy in the city of Philadelphia, and this is a father that he's never met, so he doesn't know him and he doesn't know his world, but it's about learning about both of those things, about who his father is and about this world that he comes from, which is so very different from his own
Okay.
world. That's
Now,
like,
enlighten our viewers as to what a concrete cowboy is.
Yeah, so a concrete cowboy is a black cowboy in a city. And so our particular movie takes place in Philadelphia, but there have been, I mean, okay, so at one point in time, black cowboys outnumbered all other cowboys of any other race. And then gradually that kind of got, you know, whitewashed and we got pushed out, and you know how that works. But in essence, there have been black cowboys in major cities in the U.S. for, you know, ever since the Civil War. And Philadelphia has some of the oldest, you know, stables and riding stables. So that's what a black cowboy, that's what a concrete cowboy is a cowboy in a city, in an urban environment. And to be honest with you, until I was cast in this movie, I didn't know that was a real thing. And when I got cast in the movie, I was like, is this like a fantasy story? And I live here, I'm from here. I didn't know they existed until I got cast in this movie. So, you know, and a lot of people that I have spoken with since then, I'm finding that is the case. So it's kind of exciting in that, you know, this is an actual historical thing, and that it's going to educate a lot of people as to what's going on in their actual cities.
Now, you guys won some very prestigious awards. I know, for the movie, right?
Did we?
I thought so. That's what I read, right? No?
I know we did. It debuted at the Toronto Film Festival.
Okay.
I know it did really well. We got some nice reviews came out.
Some high praises and great reviews
really nice.
and.
Tony, when it comes to independent movies and them giving awards out, they become very specific and they never tell the cast.
Oh yeah.
Last thing you want to do is film.
You know, there's like certain things about it that I know, and then there's other things that I'm like, so what's happening?
You just show up in a movie premiere and it's like, hey.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, even the film going to Toronto, we didn't know until like 2 weeks beforehand, and up until the day before, I'm like emailing people like, can I get a ticket? Can I, you know?
Oh yeah.
You know, obviously COVID put an end to all of that, but I mean, it's kind of funny how much of it is shrouded in mystery. It's like,
Do you ever get back one of those answers from a director where it's just like, do I need a passport? And they give you the LOL, BRB. It's like,
basically. It's like, a couple of people just stopped responding after a while. I was like, oh, okay, I've asked you too many times. I'm sorry, next person, you know. But it's not like I'm texting Idris like, hey, what's up, man? You going to Toronto? Yeah, right.
So you guys aren't close like that now? You're not cool, or?
You're right. No. No. It was like all I could do to be.
Did you guys have beef? Is that what happened?
No, not at all. He's like, oh my god, I'm gonna fangirl out over Idris Elba. Okay, I'm gonna do it.
He's
the most gorgeous man on the planet.
He was actually named People's Most Beautiful Person in the United States.
Yeah. And then you're standing there and you're like, you know, and that was fine. I did my scenes with him and I was like, I could die happy, I'm good.
Did you guys have a kissing scene where it was just like our smooches, you know?
No, we didn't, but it's funny. So we shot this movie in August of last year, 2019, and August, I don't know if it's like this up in your area of Pennsylvania, but for us, August is like, you know, hurricane season. It's like right in the middle of everything. It's raining all the freaking time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so irritating. So when you're shooting, if it's a thunderstorm, you can't do anything inside or outside. You just have to wait for it. So there was a thunderstorm, and it was a night. We had a week. They scheduled all the night shoots on 1 week. So we're there. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. It's pouring rain, and we can't do anything. So I don't know whose idea this was. I don't know if it was the director or the producers or both, but they got us this food truck that was giving out like cappuccinos and like hot chocolates and like really nice drinks and whatever. And I'm standing in line behind the director, and I had just shot my scene with Idris the night before, or the day before. Mm-hmm. And we're standing in line, and he turns to me and he goes, you know, that used to be a kissing scene, but we took the kiss out. And I was just like,
you son of a bitch.
Why? Like, why? Why did you tell me that? And he was like, well, he goes, we didn't think it was necessary in the end, but also I figured if you wanted to kiss him, you would have just kissed him. And I was just like, it's my first movie. Like, I'm not that person that's going to be like, well, forget what the script says. I'm going to go in there and kiss the guy. I'm the script, so I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. And then I'm like, oh, you're telling me I could have done it this whole time? And I said, well,
I couldn't even go into it mentally.
Wait, could have done it? We could have done this?
Can't you call for some reshoots or something? He was like,
reshoots.
I was like, come on. Like, can we reshoot it? Can't you just write a note? And he's like, no, I can't. So that was kind of a bummer. But, no, I mean, I got to hug him, and that was enough.
I know he's a very muscular man. He's very, very muscular. Like, very, very fit. Very, yeah.
I'm standing there, and I'm like, God, I wish I had gone to the gym.
A couple more crunches would have worked out.
It's like, I gotta put, I'm like, I'm gonna hug you, and I want to apologize that you have to touch me because I'm not in shape. I'm so sorry. It's like,
no, Liz, you look like you belong in a Peloton commercial. Come on.
It's because you can only see me from here. I had to go back in months later to do some additional recording, and I got to see, about 20 seconds of my scene, and after I cried, I was like, oh, they made me look so good, so, like, I'm fine. Like, I like the way I look. I'm like,
oh, movie magic, yay!
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, they made me look so good, so, yeah, it's fine.
That's really cool, though. I'm glad you had a super awesome time. Like, and especially for that type of film too. Like, it really enhances Black culture. It's massive, like massive. And I remember you talking about it, and you had said that Idris had particularly chosen that movie for something. But why don't you tell everybody why he chose that movie?
That was part of the cool story. So, in fact, this, it's my first film. It's Ricky Staub, the director. It's his first feature film directing. Mm-hmm. So, what happened was Idris went to his agent and said, look, I only want to do stories that uplift the Black community. Find me a script like that. And what had happened the day before was his agent is also Ricky Staub's agent. And Ricky, the day before, with his writing partner, had turned in this script and said, we were in Philly. We were there. I think he was in Philly for like 7 years, but, talked with the Cowboys at Fletcher Street Stables in Philadelphia here, really learned their story, sat down and adapted this script from a book, the book is called Ghetto Cowboy, but it's based on the same concept, right? So he turned in this script to this agent, and then the agent says to Idris, well, look, here's this script I have.
That's perfect timing, too. That's crazy perfect timing.
Take a look. Yeah, so, but it was, to me, it's such a great thing for Idris Elba to say, find me a script like this, because he's, one of the biggest actors in the world right now. He could do anything he wants.
He was almost going to be James Bond.
Yeah. We talked about that.
I've heard conflicting rumors.
I had to. I was like, I don't know if I'll ever get to ask him again. I have to ask. So,
I've heard so many conflicting rumors about it, and maybe you know the truth. But I had heard that he was not necessarily, like, drawn back that so many people were against a person of color being the next James Bond, that's why he decided to step away from... Is that true?
Basically.
Oh, my gosh.
He kind of joked with me about it. Like, I said, and I heard you were up for being James Bond. I've heard that for several years now. And at first he was kind of like, oh, you heard that, did you? Where'd you hear that? You know? And I was like, no, come on, man. Like, you know, you'd be an awesome James Bond. Like,
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of, his acting ability is a little bit better than the script in that one. Because it seems like it's like an old bathtub you get into. You're just like, you know what? I remember this whole concept. You know he's going to be playing cards somewhere. Maybe there's going to be a super villain. There's going to be a getaway scene. It's turning into what a Spider-Man or Batman movie is.
Exactly.
Only they give James Bond a little bit more time. Like Daniel Carrington. Remember? Or I'm sorry, what the hell? Daniel Craig. Yeah. Remember they were like, but he has blue eyes. Holy crap. 007 fans. Seriously, blue eyes. The fuck I get.
And it's like, that's the kind of stuff to me that is just, it's so...
Everybody was freaking out over Ariel being a little bit tanner, and they're like, and it's a cartoon, okay?
Yeah.
It's a cartoon. She could be a sea monster for all I know.
She's a mermaid, for God's sake. Like,
it's a fictitious mermaid. You know what I got a problem with? She didn't have legs. You know?
Yeah.
You guys are picking out...
Shut damn flippers!
Honestly, that is like the most frustrating thing.
You know, Liz, it was probably the Ginger's last stand, because originally Ariel had red hair, and they're like, no, we will not be from Disney like this. Because who else did the Gingers really have? That Brave girl? That was a terrible little movie.
It's ridiculous. I mean, really. Like, and you could kind of... I don't know. I don't presume to know him very well. I literally talked to him for like 20 minutes between takes, and it was just like, what? The whole time. But, you know, you can kind of tell, even just in that brief conversation, that I think there's a part of him that's like, yeah, I wish I could have done it. Or like, yeah, I wish I could, you know, do that. But...
Yeah, it reminds me of that Michael J. Fox scene from Back to the Future. Oh, society wasn't ready for that one yet, right? No?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. The kids are going to love it, though.
It's ridiculous, because we all know that Idris Elba would make a...
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the same reaction when the Stormtrooper, they casted a black dude for the Stormtrooper role, right? And then you had some people, oh my God, such mixed reactions. Some people were just like, I always like the Stormtroopers. Always. It's like, okay, buddy, you know, it's okay to not. The good guys in the bidding, oh, no. I've been Stormtrooper my whole life. It's like, sure you have. Sure you've been. That's good. But nobody, you know, the friend that's really trying, overly trying, just like, I like it better now. It's like, dude, it's like George. It's a Disney. Disney's trying to suck the soul out of George Lucas, and they're being very successful out of this.
Yeah, they sure are.
But then the other people show who they already are by saying like stormtroopers don't look like that underneath. It's like,
yeah.
First of all, none of this is real. Second of all, what the hell?
That's the thing. None of it's real. Like, it's stunning to me that we're still even like having conversations about parts that like.
You want to read something crazy? They have online letters from people that enjoy the soda Coca-Cola. Okay, Coca-Cola came out with a Black Santa the one year. They had hundreds and thousands of letters.
Oh my God, hate mail.
Hundreds of thousands. People spent a stamp money on it, where they sent it in there and they said, "You destroyed my childhood. Santa Claus does not look like this." It's like, well, I got some other things to destroy your childhood.
He looks like that for some people. Sorry, he looks like that for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And you know, thankfully, for the most part, I haven't come up against that so much. In the sense of like, you can't play. You know what? I'm going to tell this story. I've not told this on any other podcast.
I feel very, very special. Very special.
Right before COVID shut everything down, I was doing a project. I got called in. I'm not going to say who the celebrity is, but because I don't want to get in trouble. But the celebrity came to Philly. They were staying here, and they were rehearsing for a film. and they needed an actress to rehearse with him for 2 days. And I was like, sure. So they called me up, and they said, literally, they were like, we know you worked with Idris Elba, so we called you up. I'm like, sure. But the part was written...
I love the name drop, by the way. It's just like, oh, I know you acted with Idris Elba. You know, whatever.
Yeah. So they said, yeah, can you come in and rehearse? I said, yeah. I come in, and it's the actor and the director and myself. And they give me the script, and they say, oh, you'll read for his ex-wife. And unfortunately, they said the part has not been cast yet. It's still open. Unfortunately, you can't read for her because she's Latina. I said, are you trying to tell me Latina women don't look like this? And he was like, oh, well, no, we want someone just, like a little lighter brown. And it's like the first time really in this part of the industry for me that I've ever really come up against that. No, you can't play this part because you're black or you're too dark.
Yeah, it's as if no one's ever been to Brazil. And I'm not talking Hollywood, Brazil. I'm talking real Brazil.
Where does she come from? And he said there was no line in the script that was specific to what country she came from. And I said, so she could literally come from anywhere. So why can't she look like me? So the first day we rehearsed, we did the whole thing. And then that night I stayed up and I learned a pretty passable Latin accent because that's not one of the ones I usually do. And then I went back in the next day and we rehearsed another 4 hours and I did it with the accent. And the director's like, wow, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could do that. Like, I didn't think you could pull that accent off. And I was like...
Wait. Before you say this next line, do it in the Spanish accent.
Okay, because this is like months ago. So you're putting me on the spot. Like,
I'm sorry.
I said, let this be a teachable moment for you, okay? Because there are Latino women who look like me.
Oh my God.
Latino women who look lighter than me, and you need to know that this is just as Latin, okay?
Oh my God.
Very
that's the splash zone.
That's Scarface.
Not perfect, but it's okay. Sorry, everyone watching.
That was perfect. Yeah, that was still perfect. It was still nice.
But I was like, really, this has to be a teachable moment for you, regardless of whether you cast me or not. Because I said, I've played like Russian Orthodox Jewish women in my career. I did a production of Fiddler on the Roof, okay? Like, if I can do Fiddler on the Roof, I've been in like Pride and Prejudice. Like, I can be Latina, okay?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I'm an actor, that's what we do. Now, you asked me about a rant earlier. My rant was actually going to be about how I'm not on board with this whole, in the voiceover world, letting people go who are not the color of the characters that they voice and recasting them with actors of color. I will go on record as saying I'm one of those actors on color who's not totally on board with that. I don't agree with that 100%. I understand why it is offensive to some people, kind of, but I also don't really understand. I really don't. I really don't. And this is someone, I will go on record as also saying I am someone who enjoyed the Cleveland show when that was on, and I had absolutely no problem with the fact that Cleveland Brown has been, up until this point, voiced by a white man. It doesn't bother me.
That's
crazy. I think he's hysterical. I do. I get the whole Apu thing on The Simpsons. Now, granted, I'm not a huge The Simpsons fan. I like Matt Groening and I like other cartoons that he's... I'm a huge, Disenchantment fan and I love Futurama, but Simpsons I've been slow to get into, even though I know it's been on forever. But Apu, I guess I see why...
Liz, I've never seen an Indian guy own any kind of, convenience store in my life, so I don't know where they're getting this stereotype.
I just don't understand why it's offensive incentive. Like, I get
As far as I see it, he's a small business owner.
like,
It's like an Italian owning a damn mechanic shop. I get the backdrop.
or like, walk into any hair salon and you tell me who the hair people are. Like, we all know who's doing my braids. Like, come on, you know what I'm saying?
Why can't a blind guy cut your hair? It's like, I don't know, because he'd be out of business in a week. I don't know. Probably the same reason he's not an Uber driver. Eventually, the German Shepherd is going to bark at him, and it's going to be all wrong.
This is one of those areas in the industry where I really do think it needs to be the best person for the job, not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, but I think it's too much. I think
Liz, I'm on board with you 100%. I'm a tall, skinny white dude, right? And basically,
Right.
look at me. They're like, tall, skinny white does comedy. How about accounting for the mafia, huh? How about you do that? Maybe you run the numbers. Maybe you say a line here and there. Maybe we add you some lines.
Look, first off, Kevin, you're not Chinese.
Yeah, right. If it was just
The mafia hires
that,
Chinese accountants now? Come on now.
yeah. If it was just based on that, I would have a very, very short voiceover career because, frankly, I mean, the parts that I get called into playing more often than not are lawyers, doctors, teachers, and nurses. So, unless you're writing that, and frankly, in cartoons and other voiceover things, I rarely see black people written as lawyers, doctors, nurses, or...
Well, you got to look at Doc McStuffin. Her mom works, and her dad's a buck. Her dad's
I probably could do a pretty good Doc McStuffin.
He's like hardcore neglectful of his daughter's schizophrenia with her pets. And Disney did not do anything smart there. All they did was take Dr. Dolittle and Toy Story, blend them, and throw it out there and say, look it's new. And everybody said, oh, okay, it is.
But that is exactly what it is.
It's true.
But
Can I be honest for a second? Now, Liz, do you think that there is a hidden agenda in Hollywood as far as casting choices as far as the black community?
well, hidden.
Yeah, I mean, let's
I don't
you know.
think it's very hidden.
No, well, of course, no, it's not hidden.
I don't think it's a very hidden agenda, and really, it's no accident that, if we want to make a splash somewhere, like let's say TV, I'll use that as an example. If we want to have a good part on a TV show or longevity on a TV show, then it's probably going to have to be a show that was created by a person of color. Like, there's a reason that Shonda Rhimes shows have the kind of reputation that they have, where they've been on forever. There's usually
Like Medea
large
shows.
cast of people of color, and you know what I'm saying? It's like when was the last time that happened? Like, what? Like Denzel Washington on St. Elsewhere? Like, we just don't get the opportunities unless we're making them ourselves.
Oh, of
really.
course.
Really.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I wouldn't call it a hidden agenda, but I certainly think it's in there, yeah.
Well, I only say hidden because, like, those who are putting, their foot forward with that don't want to make it known that they're racist
Right.
for not hiring black cast members. And that's the only reason why I'm saying hidden agenda, because they don't want to come forward as being like, oh, well, we didn't have any acting portrayals for black cast members, so all we hired was white cast members, and here it is. Right. But I mean, that's a bunch of it's bullshit, and it's all over
bullshit.
Hollywood.
No,
though.
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's bull.
Yeah.
What they would call it at the greedy boardroom. They would call it an untapped demographic. A bunch of greedy old white guys. Maybe they got a woman over there because her husband used to be on the board, and she's
Exactly. But they're not listening to her.
We have an untapped demographic here that we just can't seem to get a hold on. It's like, I bet I can guess what they look like. Oh, you know what they look like. It's like, yeah. Relax, old guys. Relax. So they tried throwing stuff out there, and look what ABC does with they got the show with Anthony Anderson. I actually like it a little bit because
Blackish, I love that show.
Blackish is a great show. Yeah.
No laugh track, so it's totally likable. You got to give it a chance if you haven't seen it. The only person I don't like is Anthony Anderson. I actually made a fake movie of him being Catfish Genie because he's one of those actors. Him and I swear to God, it was called Catfish Genie, and it was starring Shia LaBeouf, where Shia LaBeouf plays the fisherman, and Anthony Anderson plays a fish, where he's got a fish body, but Anthony Anderson's face is still there, because I'm pretty sure he would even do that role. The dude's been in a lot of stuff. Malibu's Most Wanted. Yeah, he could do this kind of comedy sort of thing.
Yeah, totally.
Anthony Anderson gives Shia LaBeouf's character 3 wishes, and Shia LaBeouf wishes that his dad was more like his mom. So, of course, enter Kevin Kline to be the cross-dressing actor, because he'll find any excuse to wear a dress.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This does. So, regardless, it is a pretty decent show. There are unlimited as your imagination can go. Limited as your imagination can go. That's how far you can cast or create a character that looks any which way you want it to look. So I would always encourage every writer out there, like, well, what do they look like? Not a bad question to say, what does the character look like? Well, what does his friend look like? Well, do they have any black friends? Do they have any Chinese friends? Where do they live? Just to encourage that kind of behavior. That way it gets the juices going, because some people are just already grown up in this bubble, man. They just grow up in this little bubble where everybody looks a certain way. They all live in a certain kind of house and stuff. And, who was that dude who wrote the stupid movie, the Royal Tenenbaums?
I know who you're talking about. Wes Anderson?
You know what I'm talking about. I like to play a little game called, Sparky. Who's that dude? He's got the, I don't know. I like to play a game with his movies called Do a Shot Every Time You See a Black Dude. And you see Danny Glover.
Wes Anderson? Was it Wes Anderson?
Wes Anderson, yeah. Yeah, it's, Like, I get the appeal if you make over $600,000 a year and you want to sit down and bring the family over for a movie and shit, but besides that, I can't relate to anything that he sees.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Liz, if you had to choose, and I know you've said this earlier when we were off the air, but I know that you said that you're a huge Golden Girls fan and you love to stream watch movies, right? Now, it's okay that I gave away your secret. I'm sorry, I gave away your secret. I'm sorry. There it is. It's out in the air. The Golden Girls. Woo! If you had to choose a sitcom that was
secret word of the
day, Golden Girls. Which Golden Girl would you want to be? Blanche. Yes. No, I mean there's some great shows on TV. If you had to choose the perfect role on any type of and not to say that streaming a streaming type of service would for any streaming service, any movie, any TV show, what would it be right now?
Does it have to be written already?
No. It doesn't have to be written.
Because here's how I would answer that.
Okay.
I will do any TV show or movie script that has it written that I play Viola Davis's daughter.
Okay.
Whatever project that would be. I want to play her daughter. I want to play opposite her in a story. And actually, she and I would say sometimes Alfre Woodard, throughout my entire life, people have always been like, do you know who you look like? That actress, you know what I'm talking about? And I'm like, Viola Davis? Yeah! I'm like, yes, I know. My whole life. And in fact, like the first season of How to Get Away with Murder, she had this wig that was like short, like kind of like to here, and had like a little swoop, and it was brown hair. And then somebody pointed out to me on the street, they were like, you and Viola Davis have the same wig. I was like, yes, we sure do. We sure do. Like, but no, I love her style. I love her acting style. Everything she's in, she's always solid. And when How to Get Away with Murder was still on, I was like trying to find somebody on Twitter to be like, write a part for me. Like, please, here's my picture. Like, please, write a part for a daughter or something. But yeah, anything like that, any kind of drama that I could work with her on. She used to do guest spots on like Law and Order SVU all the time. She always played lawyers and stuff.
By the way, that's me and Kevin's number one streaming thing.
Absolutely on that show.
I'd love it.
I'd love it. Auditions for that show in the past, and every time I go up to New York to audition for it, I'm always like, "Oh God, please,
please choose me, please."
That is, that is the only time in your life where somebody can point at you and you can feel good about it when they say, "Liz, you're the rapist."
I know.
You got the rapist.
You know,
really?
It would be tough. But I would
scream on the phone like, I'm the rapist, I'm the rapist. People in the street would
You'd be calling your mom and dad. They'd be like, "Oh my God, I got picked for SVU. Oh my God."
I'm
the victim. I play the dead rape victim on Law and Order SVU. And
my first news ever. My first New York audition was for SVU, and it was for a part of a murdered prostitute. So
wow, okay.
When I got to call my parents for that one, that was a fun phone call. Like, I have an audition. Oh, that's great. What's it for? Law and Order SVU. Great. What's it for? Law and Order SVU. I'm going to play a dead hooker.
I play a dead prostitute. Yay!
It would be great if your parents were way too supportive, like they had it on the A to B repeat. Yep, that's my daughter's dead hand right there. There it is. There it is. There it is. You know, as the neighbor's over.
You know, well, they were, you know, I did eventually say, it's a dead hooker. That's what it said in the script. Hooker, I think it was Hooker 1 or like Hook 80 or something like that. And it was like...
That's perfect.
Like later she's referred to as like dead hooker. And so... I said that to my mom, and my mom's like, well, it's a start. Like,
she's so supportive.
Liz, the next step up is dying hooker, because then you got some lines, please don't kill me, I'm a dying hooker.
Then working hooker, then head hooker, then be like junior cop. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, roofied call girl. There's always roofied call girl.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
They don't use the word hooker. Yeah, they just, you know. But you don't want to be typecasted at that point.
Well, I didn't get the part, so I don't think I'm a very convincing hooker, unfortunately. So.
Ah.
Yeah, you know.
It's okay. I mean, hey, I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
Kevin auditioned for a guy that needs to get tampons for his girlfriend once, and that didn't work out well.
They did not buy me as a straight dude, even though I have qualities that...
Like, the parts that you... Like I said, I always get called in for, like, doctors, lawyers, nurses. I get very professional parts.
You have that nurse look about you.
I do. Well, it's interesting you said that, because for this movie, actually, when I first auditioned for it, she was not written as she is in the movie, and as she is in the movie now, she is a nurse. And I laughed. I never asked the question, but I always wondered. I'm like, did they change it? Because it changed during the audition process. I had multiple auditions, and from the first one to the last one, she did a complete 180. But I always wondered, I'm like, it's because I didn't quite pull off the other. Because when she was written before, I literally, in preparation for this,
you got to get your mindset.
Well, she was like a hardcore drug addict. She was about to be evicted. Like, there was a whole scene where she was being given like a couple minutes to grab stuff out of her apartment because they were throwing her out. And so I mean, in addition to, like, I stayed up for like 24 hours to make sure I looked super tired, and like, there was a girl on YouTube. Shout out to Bondi Blue on YouTube. If you ever get a chance to look, it's a girl who reviews episodes of shows, but I specifically watched her for 10 hours, her reviews of Love and Hip Hop, and I studied her speech patterns, because I was like, the way it's written in the script, the things that I have to say, they do not sound natural coming out of my mouth right now, so I need to, like...
Did you try to sell the Spanish accent with them?
Say again?
Did you try to sell the Spanish accent to them?
No, it wasn't a Spanish accent. It was,
Oh, you should have just rocked it out and been like, hey, look, Holmes.
I think I owe Bondi Blue some money because I literally went in with her accent.
Okay.
And her accent is in the film. It actually is. I mean, although they did change my profession and they took the drug addict part out, but her accent is in the film. And she's from somewhere in Louisiana. It's not New Orleans, but it's somewhere in Louisiana. So she's got
Ooh, so she's got the Cajun Bayou.
But yeah, but her, I mean, and she's got a very lively voice. I wish I could remember how to do it. Oh man, it's so great. I literally, I've got to like write her a message sometime and let her know, like, that's you in the movie, or it's my interpretation of you in the movie.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they took that out, but I always wondered if they were like, we like her, we don't like her as an addict though, so maybe we change it and make her. I don't know. I never asked, but. In the original book, she is, I do believe she is a nurse. I know she's not an addict in the source material, so I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So it's probably left up for audience interpretation then. That's what writers say when they get lazy, when they're just like,
It's true.
Or what else do they do, Kevin? What else do they do?
They'll tell themselves what it is.
Kevin, what else do writers do when they get lazy?
Oh, my favorite loophole. I think you're referring to that, right?
I am going to loophole. Time travel.
Time travel is my favorite loophole. When they run out of stuff to do, it's like putting a pretzel in a candy. They time travel, okay?
Every goddamn time. Every time.
I already called what the Avengers last movie was going to be on. I said, I guarantee no one's dead. They don't kill anybody.
No.
Disney doesn't kill anybody, and they're going to time travel. Everybody's like, would you see it? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't even need to see it to know what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
The writers have run out of juice. They've run out of juice, and they're going to start time traveling right now. Because the pretzel ain't in the candy yet.
How much in the nerdy world are you, Liz? Are you a superhero watcher? Do you like to watch the movies? Do you like the comic books? And
I'm a Marvel fan. I used to read like the Wasp comics when I was a kid. Okay. I didn't really get into the other ones, but I liked the Wasp. I thought she was cool, and I liked the Marvel movies. But I did something very odd. I watched all the Marvel movies except for Endgame. I could not bring myself to watch it, and then when I did try to sit down, I couldn't get more than like 20 minutes into it. It just seemed so like long and weirdly tedious to me. Okay. I've never finished it, but I do like the Marvel movies quite a bit, and I'm that nerd that's like, we'll watch.
Uh-oh.
And then every 2 seconds, I'm going to tell you something about how the movie was made, or some little tidbit about something that happened behind the scenes, or like, I'm like a walking IMDb page for no reason at all, just because I just retain facts. I don't know. Yeah, that's me. Not a nerd I am.
Liz, you just brought up a superhero's name that I was thinking, like, why didn't they have the Black Panther and the Wasp get in the same movie there? Just for hilarity's sake.
It would have been awesome.
Would have been awesome.
His team up, just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Now, Sparky had a question for you as well. Sparky, I'm gonna give you the floor, buddy.
So ready for this question? I'm scared a little.
Me too. I have no idea how scared I am.
In weeks now, actually. Okay, since you are an actress, a musician, you've been on stage, you do a little bit of writing.
She's been in the opera. The opera, Sparky. The opera.
The opera also, but my actual serious question is, for out of the 4 major awards out of EGOT, which one, you only have a choice to win one. Which one would you want to win and why?
Oscar. That's the only one I've ever wanted to win. That's the only one I've ever wanted to win. And when you're a little kid, or I don't know, a lot of actors, when we're little kids, we pretend that we're, in the mirror with the hairbrush and be like, I'd like to thank the Academy. It was always, I'd like to thank the Academy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
any of the other ones. I realize more and more that it is a popularity contest. I mean, really, it's political and it's popularity, and it's not really based on talent as much as it should be, but it still is kind of like the pinnacle, you know what I mean? The ultimate symbol of, like, I've made it. Even though usually people then go on to make terrible movies after they win their Oscars. I don't know what that's about. But I would love to have an Oscar on my mantle. Absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd be happy with any of them, but that has always just been in my heart, I guess. I don't know.
All right, I'm going to end this. I'm going to end our...
If someone wants to throw an Emmy my way, I'll be like, hey, Emmy. Like,
I need to say this. I need to say...
Okay.
I bought one on Pawn Stars.
Liz, if Nickelodeon comes calling, just don't pick up. Just say,
yeah, don't do it.
You know what? Call somebody.
Nothing good ever comes from being a Nickelodeon star.
Call somebody who needs this ego boost for some odd reason, you know? So
it's interesting, and it's funny because this morning I watched a documentary about the Ren and Stimpy creator.
Okay.
Those are fun documentaries to watch because they did have a lot of close-up graphics in those where you're like, this is not for kids, but
it's not.
I'm watching it anyway.
Ren and Stimpy, when I was a kid, I was never super into that show anyway, but then, I heard about the creator being in the news a little bit, and I was like, what is this documentary? And then I watched it, and I was like, oh, boy.
Isn't it great with this technology? Some people look at it like we're being spied on, and if we are being spied on, thank you, spies. You're over there popping up ads for stuff that I already need,
All right, I gotta end this last question on a bang, okay? And because you are a Philadelphia native, and because I'm sure everybody has asked this question.
Don't come for me, Philly. Don't come for me, Philly. I'm a suburbs native. No, you gotta be specific because they will come for you. You see the Philly sports fans.
I know.
Philly suburbs native.
And I'm going right for the jugular. I'm going for the jugular, Liz.
Okay.
I'm doing it. If you had to pick a favorite cheesesteak from Philly, where are you going?
Ooh.
There it is, Liz. And I know there's Pat's, I know there's Geno's.
I'm going to be controversial here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be controversial. I believe with all my heart and deep within my soul that Pat's and Geno's are extremely overrated.
Controversial? That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Honestly. I don't even understand how they got whatever.
Because they were the first ones. They were the first ones on South Street where they were massively making amounts of cheesesteak.
I like my cheesesteaks without cheese whiz.
Without the whiz.
On cheese. I don't. I'm not.
Oh, so you're like actual food, Liz. You're insane.
Right.
How dare you call yourself a Philadelphia native?
Yeah, no. If I'm gonna get a cheesesteak, it'll probably be some hole in the wall on 5th Street that, also probably sells tacos as well. Like, honestly, I'm not partial to one of those big chains. What's that one? Oh, man. I can't believe I can't remember the name. But it's like a hole in the wall on 5th Street. Like, I just... I'm one of those. Stay away from Pat's, Geno's, and kind of the chain ones, unless you're really.
How about Sonny's? What do you think about Sonny's?
I don't think I've ever been to Sonny's.
No. How about D'Alessandro's? D'Alessandro's?
D'Alessandro's is
yeah,
good.
D'Alessandro's has got some. They got some meat. They got some meats to give you the meat sweats.
You're gonna be full if you.
Oh yeah.
D'Alessandro's.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Tony Luke's is more of like the fast food type of.
I'm not super into Tony Luke's.
I'm not into Tony Luke's either.
Yeah.
Nobody should be that shit. It's the Subway of cheesesteak places. You know that they got a way to do it. They got an ABC pattern to it, and that's fine for some setups. That's great. It's you gotta hire people to make a cheesesteak, and sometimes you gotta teach people how to use their hands and grab something. You know, it's really.
But it's like insulting then when you go places, especially outside of Pennsylvania, where they're like, we have Philly cheesesteaks, and I'm like, prove it. And then they show you something that's like,
It's a weird conglomeration.
Like, what did you just put on my plate?
We have a Philadelphia cheesesteak. What we do is we heat up garbage in the microwave. You know, from Philly.
It's a cheesesteak with chicken fingers, French fries, onion rings, mozzarella sticks, cheese whiz, pickles.
Extra stuff in there, and you're just like, I don't know what that is, but I'm not eating it. That's all I know. I can't eat that.
Ew,
I will
gross.
take a burger. Don't get me wrong, I like meat, but that's...
It is almost like, Liz, it's almost like a slap in the face of what everybody else thinks of Philadelphia from that.
I
like,
know.
we took your finest of steakums and threw them on the grill because that's what we know you Philly people are into. It's like, what the fuck?
You're just like, you've clearly never been to Philly, have you? Never. So, yeah, no, but... I mean, you know, if I had my choice, I'll probably eat a burger over a cheesesteak anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm a burger fan.
All right, well, let's get into a second half of our show here. Sparky, where are we today as far as our lovely game that we like to play called Stupid Criminals Across the Country? Pennsylvania Man, but I am a pen.
Oh.
But I am a pen. Yeah.
A little bit of wordplay right there. See how the humans on there? They're stick figures.
He's a number 2 Pennsylvanian.
A number 2. Oh. OMG. OMG.
I like it. He's a number 2.
I like the play on words. Sparky, how do we happen to play this game?
Well, what's going to happen is, ladies and gentlemen in our studio audience and the people
Okay.
watching us at home, what's going to happen is you are going to read 5 stories from 3 different categories. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to have to pick out if either all the stories are true, or if they're all false, or if there's a combination of true and false. And the biggest rule is, if there's any mention of the word meth, you know it's a true story.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. All right. So, just to let you know, Liz, we do play this game. It's an absolutely funny, hilarious game because it goes to show you that humanity is absolutely screwed. Yeah. Absolutely. So I'm going to start out. I'm going to read all these 5 stories, and then I will come to each of you to tell to have you guys pick out if there is a fake story or if they're true, they're false, whatever is going on. And I hope you're ready to go down this really sad rabbit hole. We'll start out with story number 1. PA man arrested for breaking and entering and vandalism while on bath salts. Bath salts. He said that he was being chased by electricity.
No, electricity is not to chase people.
Story number 2. Pennsylvania man arrested for making obscene gestures at a truck stop in short shorts. Short shorts. Yeah. Story number 3. Pennsylvania man arrested for injecting semen into the food of 2 of his coworkers.
Oh, yeah, man. People put semen in everything.
This could be story of the week.
That could be story of the... Story number 4. Pennsylvania teen arrested for jamming a fork into another teen's arm over a baseball card.
Cannibal in the making.
Cannibal in the making. He's a little hungry. And story number 5. Pennsylvania couple arrested for threatening to kill another couple after finding cat poop in their yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Liz, after hearing all of these wonderful, wonderful stories about humanity, and especially Pennsylvania, and not saying that you know the humanity of Pennsylvanians. So we're going to start out with you. Are you thinking true, false? What are you thinking?
say there's a combination of true false in there. I don't know. I'm bad at this. Let me think.
All right. Well, let's go to Kevin. Let's go to Kevin. What are you thinking, Kevin?
I'm from Pennsylvania. Okay, originally from Baltimore, but been living here for majority of my life, and I cannot find a false story in the mindset of Pennsylvania. You have the cat poop thing that kind of struck up there, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you know what? Couples in, now we're not just talking Pittsburgh, Philly, northeastern Pennsylvania. You got western Pennsylvania hillbillies going on over there too.
You've got the hillbilliest of hillbillies.
There's some weird buggers out there.
You've got some trailer trash in there. That's
Yeah, you got people on like different. You got people that are walking around without eyelids because the inbreeding level's been stepped up so hard, you know. And they're in Pennsylvania, you know. So I'm gonna go all true. Liz, you can laugh at that. That was hilarious. You know, I know we don't want to offend those people without eyelids because they do not close it. They sleep with sunglasses on.
They're like aliens. They're just like aliens, but they live in Pennsylvania.
They do. They do. I've seen them. I've seen those fuckers. I'm going all true on this one, man.
All right.
I can't find one where you have to realize it. Especially the one that kind of did bring up with the guy that had short shorts. I was thinking, wait a second, that could be any season because there's always that dude in Pennsylvania wearing shorts and shit.
And it is Memorial Day. Memorial Day for him. Yeah. What a better way to celebrate Memorial Day than by raising a flag, right?
Well, they said that he was doing some gestures or whatever.
Gestures.
You got to be some obscene. You got to be like waving your around or something if you're doing some obscene gestures or something. Because what is he throwing up gang signs and people are? What is he? Is he talking shit on the deaf or with sign language? And
he was at a truck stop. Hey, he was at a truck stop.
Because he's at a gas station. I don't know, man. I couldn't imagine how people are doing obscene gestures. Maybe it gets more specific in the story. Maybe the story's not even true. Maybe it's not even true.
You never know. Never know. Sparky, what are you thinking, brother? What are you thinking, brother? Are you all in? You're all in? All right, you and Stack Earl are all in.
Wow.
Liz, where are we going with this? What do you think?
I don't want to be that one that's like, I think they're all not true. No, I'm going to say I think they're all true except for the...
Except for short shorts? Story number four was the fork stabber. Fork stabber? Yeah, the fork stabber over the baseball card.
Oh, I don't know. That does seem like something that would happen here, because...
Pennsylvania teens.
Kids love to stab each other, you know that?
They do.
They're not stabbing each other, they're shooting each other.
It's true. Okay.
It's interesting.
I'm going to say, I feel like they're all true, except...
That's perfect, Liz. I think you should go all true. I think that's a good call for you.
Yeah?
Yeah, all right. So, I'm going to give a little synopsis about these stories. Sparky, down below here, actually draws awesome pictures for each of these stories. So, we're going to get into story number one. I'll give you a little background on each story. Story number one.
I can't wait to see these pictures.
You're the second person to say that. Yeah, second person. PA man arrested for breaking and entering and vandalism while on bath salts. He says he was being chased by electricity. Is a true story. It's a very true story.
For sure.
You know, Tony, that's the weirdest thing. Electricity seems to only chase those that are high on drugs.
Go figure.
You gotta feel bad if you're doing coke or bath salts or meth. Man, you gotta watch out for that electricity. Hang out with the Amish there for a little bit. Electricity will not find you there.
I love this picture that Sparky has right now. It says, "Help! It is out to get me." It's a lovely stick figure followed by the electricity. And this is exactly how the story goes. Apparently, when you're breaking into someone's house and you're vandalizing their house because you think that the electricity is following you and you're trying to barricade the doors, hey, guess what, Liz? Not in your house.
Wait,
wasn't even his house.
No.
Wasn't even his house. He broke into somebody else's house because he thought the electricity was following him. He broke into someone else's house. He barricaded the doors. Family was freaking out.
Let me check.
Yeah.
Check.
That's
Pretty awesome. Yeah. Good for him. Good for him.
one reason not to be bath salts, kids.
Yeah, I mean, what kind
Children.
of seductive drug dealer says, by the way, side effects include feeling like electricity is following you everywhere?
It just, nothing about this drug ever made me sound like, oh yeah, it sounds like a great one to try. Like,
This sounds awesome.
You know what?
Really?
I'll stick to the heroin. You keep the bad salts on the shelf. You know, I'm looking to relax today. That's even a lot of work to do a drug. You need a spoon, a needle. I mean, come on.
You don't need none of that shit for this. None of it. PA man arrested for making obscene gestures at a truck stop in short shorts. True story.
We need to know more about this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna need context and also.
Okay, Sparky's got some context there. Same to you, buddy.
The same to you, buddy.
You see, he's got the short shorts on there, Liz.
I love how he's throwing the stick figure finger.
That man is as large as a truck.
Yeah, why are these so big?
Oh.
Because the truck is driving away. It's in the distance.
Oh, okay.
I see it.
Hey, there's always an explanation from Picasso. Always.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
Apparently, this guy who just decided.
Ross, he watched one episode, caught on perfectly.
Perfect.
Knew exactly what he was doing.
This gentleman who ended up going to a truck stop decided to wear his finest of Sunday blues. Yes, his blue short shorts. While ass flapping in the wind, Liz. His booty was flapping in the wind. Genitals kind of hanging out.
Just terrible.
So wait, they arrested him for being so fat that his shorts couldn't contain his ass.
No.
Just say, get him a rope, man. What
No,
the hell?
when he started grabbing his junk while people were filling up at the gas station, telling people to do sexual acts to him while he was standing in front of cars. That's what got him arrested.
Okay, never mind that.
Yeah.
I said, never mind.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on to story number 3. PA man arrested for injecting semen into the food of 2 co-workers. This one actually...
This is true.
It is true, and it actually hit the news pretty big.
This might be story of the month.
Story of the month.
Let's see it, brother. Let's see it. It's perfect! This is the best yum yum sauce ever. Infamous on the yum yum.
Shout out to Liam's yum yum sauce on that one.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Tony, I just want to meet the man or woman that was able to decipher the sperm taste.
That is so true.
I mean, how much sperm do you have to be ingested to notice the difference in your food to say, wait a second, hold on there, Cindy. We know what this is, right? Taste this. Doesn't that taste like cum?
Yeah, that's not a cream-filled donut.
My God, it does taste like cum. And how much were these men or women ignored that there was cum in the food until they finally tested it out and said, my God, that cream filling inside the donuts wasn't cream filling at all.
The dude that did this heinous act was in his 50s.
Ew.
Okay.
That just makes it exponentially worse.
So much worse. So much worse.
A little bit. I mean, if you told me he was 49, I'd be like, man, yeah, those 49-year-olds. But once you say 50, it's like, you know, that's
There he is shooting dust into everything.
jerking off in food, you prick.
The dude got sentenced to 20 years in jail. 20
What is
years.
he gonna? Man, just tell him to stop jerking off in food. You don't gotta send him 20 years in jail.
I know.
Instead of jail, that's disgusting. disgusting.
That's
Or a mental
gross.
institution. I don't know.
Gross.
He's just gonna, you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna get a job as a cook in the prison and just do it again.
They're in the prison. They don't care. They don't care.
He's gonna work his way up to cook. That way, you know, it's just like I spent 10 years in here to get back to throw my jizz and thing.
I season with perfect flavor, like this.
Hold on, it's sticking.
It's
sticking.
salt life.
Let me just rub it out real quick. Let me just rub it. There we go.
Is he going to hang out from Minnesota? The two of them when he gets out of
They
jail?
They might. Yeah. All right, so story number 4, P18 arrested for jamming a fork into another teen's arm over a baseball card. True story. True story. I wish it was about a Mattingly card.
Don Mattingly? Come on now. They have Don Mattingly cards in school. Kids are just violent, man. They just, this is nothing new. People are always acting like it's new, like kids got violent. They'll blame a video game system or whatever. Man, kids have been violent since the 70s, the 80s. They've been punching each other in the face. They were either raised that way. I mean, humans are just initially that way. They like to hit each other when they're kids. They got all the energy in the world to just forcibly beat the crap out of each other. And now
My husband's and a guy with a cupcake.
I just love how the kid's option was I couldn't find mom and dad's weapons of knives or swords and stuff, so he ended up grabbing a fork.
I think that's ingenious. I think, whatever is available.
Yeah, like who's this kid's dad? Who's this kid's dad? MacGyver? You know? Or a baseball card? Come on, man.
Well, how old were these kids?
Yeah, this is true. You got a lot of 22-year-old 8th graders out there.
No, they were 17 years old.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, 17-year-old, punks.
Yeah.
Punks.
I mean, maybe they should be focusing on asking girls to the prom instead of saying about baseball cards. Or maybe play baseball yourself. Buy your own card one day.
Sparky was so close. He was so close on the player.
A Pokemon card, so I can't say the Dungeons and Dragons stuff, but it's baseball cards. It's like, come on, I'm guessing they were Italian.
The card was a Mickey. The card was a Mickey Mantle card.
Oh, it was a Mickey Mantle card.
A Mickey Mantle card.
Well, what are you doing bringing a Mickey Mantle?
Yeah, why are you bringing a Mickey Mantle
I don't know.
card?
I don't know.
That's
I
like
have no
asking the
idea.
lunch lady if she can break 100. You're gonna get robbed.
Yeah, no, that's dumb. That's
Of course
dumb.
I could. Your
That's
bill's
just
only
dumb.
$5, but I got 95 in my purse. It's like, well, you got a 2-for-1 special over there. I'll get the lunch lady. You get the nerd with the $100 bill.
Yeah.
Let's get into story number 5. Story number 5, PA couple arrested for threatening to kill another couple after finding cat poop in their yard. It is a true story.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a true story.
Tony's going to appreciate this one.
Let's see this one. If your cat poops in the yard again, hashtag Steph, I told you to clean up after the cats. That's my wonderful wife who has adopted the cats outside. She has quite the cat obsession. Apparently in a... These are 80-year-old people. 83 and 89. A lovely old couple from Pennsylvania, backwoods, 83 and 89. Police were called after allegedly threatening to kill their neighbor when they found cat poop on their property. They didn't even say that it was their cat. They just said that if we find cat poop on the property, I'm gonna kill you.
It's hilarious. That is hilarious to tell old people because they're always afraid.
Shock over that.
Because people have nothing else better to do, Liz. People have nothing else better to do.
I guess not.
They got all that free time shit going on. They don't care. Yeah, that's some crazy ass Pennsylvania shit right there.
I think they'd be grateful. Cat poop is actually really good fertilizer.
Yes, you would think so. This old couple ain't playing games. They were taking out the dentures. They were ready to throw down. 83 and 89. They're like motherfuckers. You come into my yard, and I'm going to kill you.
Oh man, old people are always kind of weird when they're doing their end of the day stuff. They look like less of humans at the end of the day. They're taking out teeth, they're taking out their goddamn hair. It's like, what the hell? What are you falling apart? No, I'm going to bed. Holy crap.
Pennsylvanians. They're Pennsylvanians officially.
They were real.
All right, let's quickly. We'll go into our next 5 stories.
Yeah, man, they're like a Darth Vader, little.
Let's quickly get into our next 5 stories. Starting out, these are going to be fun ones. Starting out with story number 1: Pennsylvania man arrested for lying to police about being taken hostage for $250.
Don't give the ransom so he's not important.
Very specific on the number right there. Very specific. Story number 2, Pennsylvania man arrested for having too much fun on Memorial Day. Apparently, he was sunbathing in the nude on his roof.
Oh. Well, he's on his roof.
He's on his roof on Memorial Day during their parade.
One of the people that reported him then get sexual harassment charges for that?
Maybe.
Because if he was naked through his window inside of his house, and they were like, oh boy, that guy, right?
But he's on his roof.
Yeah, he's on his own roof. Yeah, I mean, he got up there.
He did have to go up on the ladder. He had to go like this, ring after ring after ring.
It depends, because you know what? This has to be a really out-of-shape person. Like, nobody wants to see something they don't want to see. Like, if it was a beautiful woman, people would be like, man, somebody's got to stop that quick. Nobody would say it.
Right, no.
Yeah.
Now, if it was a large man, you're like, fucking get him out of there. Oh, God. We have kids, all right? They're really throwing kids up there. Hey, look at, I got a baby. It doesn't know what's going on yet, but still, this is happening. They'll hold up like Jackson or a balcony. My kid does not want to see your ugly ass.
Kevin, let's shoot into number 3. PA woman arrested for DUI for driving around a township mobile home park drunk while on her scooter.
Yeah?
I'm going to say yeah to that one.
That's
like Walmart on a Tuesday down here.
It is like Walmart on a Tuesday.
That's my local Walmart every day.
Yeah, those people, they like to try out the camping supplies first with the Walmarts down there.
True.
We want to see if the tent works, so we figure we live here now.
They're setting up shop in the toilet paper aisle. They're making teepee houses and.
Look at that. Walmart hired models to show us how the tents work, and the one just asked me for $1. It's like it's just a homeless guy.
True.
He's pretty sly.
This is my favorite story. Number 4. PA men arrested for breaking and entering. They were baffled when the man shut the door in their face. They tried several times to enter the residence while failing miserably and having their faces on several security cameras. And story number 5. Story number 5, PA couple arrested for calling cops to report a burglary. In their house, they had a grow house in the basement, a fully loaded AK-47, and 2 Nazi uniforms.
Oh, no.
Those that don't know, they caught Nazis. That's a good thing.
Yeah, there's no oh no about that. Oh no, not the Nazis! Needless to say, they had a grow house in their basement and a loaded AK-47 when the cops came in.
Yeah.
Nazi uniforms and kids in cages, and everyone's like, oh no, they're terrible people.
And stupid, nonetheless.
This time before across the country, so nothing surprises me.
It's true, yeah.
Sparky, we'll start out with you in the very beginning. What are you thinking, brother? All right, 2 thumbs up for an all-in. Kevin, where are you going, brother?
Man, I can't find one that I could honestly say this is. I hope that the trailer park lady driving around with the damn thing with the DUI. Maybe the cops could have used some common sense on that one and said, hey, you know what? Go back to your trailer and scoot on by. because she's not really harming anybody. She's
That would have been
just
awesome.
getting stuff or
Yeah.
whatever. Instead, they're just like, "Oop, we got you for a DUI." I'm guessing she's overweight. They handcuffed her. She's crying. Like, dude, did you really want to start and end your day like this? I know it's a 12-hour shift, but seriously, man,
Yeah.
you're capping it off like a scumbag there, you know? So I hope that one to be false. I'm pretty sure it's true, though.
It'd be like, Grandma's loaded again. There she is in her hover round.
Yeah, quick, call the cops. You know, a guy, ugly dude on the roof. I'm guessing he's ugly. That's what people don't like to see, that kind of stuff. So ugly dude on the roof is definitely true. And as much as I can't stand people that just like to keep Nazi uniforms for historical facts, it's like keeping used condoms from rapists for historical reasons. Like, what are you doing, man? You know, so you have a basement called Terrible Shit from Humanity that you want it. What are you making a museum? I mean, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know. It's none of my interest, though. You still have a lot of people out there that love watching movies about serial killers and so the Nazi uniform, the loaded AK-47. Honestly, I'm not even sure if the Nazis used the AK-47 because that was a Russian weapon.
It was a Russian weapon, yeah.
So they're like, hey, we got Russian weapons, we got Nazi uniforms. It's like, all right, man, I guess maybe you're just going country hopping of all their crappy things that they made. A gun that heats up way too quick and jams.
Oh, yeah.
Great. Good for the AK-47. You made a jammable heat-up gun. The only reason that they made it is because it was very easy to make. And
Kevin, this is too much of an explanation. You're thinking of it way too much. Yeah.
I'm just all true. I'm going all true on this one, man. Every story sounds true.
Liz, what are you thinking, sweetie?
You know, I was gonna be like, there's got to be one in here that's not true, but they all sound true. I mean, they do. I'm sorry, Pennsylvania, but it all sounds completely.
This is the epitome.
Well, I'm gonna say true.
This is the straight up epitome of Pennsylvania right here.
I hate to go there with it, but I'm like,
See, Liz, after you hear these stories, don't you just think less of humanity, where you're just like, oh, man, yeah.
Letting us.
You're kind of like,
God damn.
Where are we going? Nowhere.
Absolutely nowhere. Yeah.
Nowhere good, anyway.
Nowhere good. All right, let's start out with story number one. PA man arrested for lying to police about being taken hostage for $250.
That sounds true to me.
It's very true. It is a true story.
Because of the fact that it's a ridiculously small number, and then
Exactly. It would cost the state less money to give him $250 and say, or to just fine him $250 and say, just pay it back eventually. I mean,
They even printed this guy's name in the police blotter. His name is David B. Gross. David Gross.
well,
This lovely gentleman had said that he was being kidnapped by a biker gang.
oh boy.
And that they were...
Now, Liz, you can tell who the cops are in this. See, they got the little hats on.
They got the Mountie hats on. They're good.
Should have asked for more.
Should have asked for more.
That was so great.
This lovely gentleman... And I gotta take a drink of water before I go into this. This guy is from Palmyra. Okay? Now, I don't know if you've heard of it, right? Palmyra?
Yeah, that's in New Jersey.
Yeah, well, he's originally from Palmyra. But he said that he had gotten taken hostage in Pennsylvania, and that this outlaw motorcycle gang had taken him hostage for the $250. Now, he said that he was being held hostage at an Applebee's.
Oh, that's believable. Okay.
And that when...
Because they eat at the Applebee's. Okay. Give us 10% off and free coffees. This would...
And that when police came to the to the Applebee's, which they arrived, but couldn't find Mr. Gross or verify the reported incident, they said that police actually found Mr. Gross as exiting a movie theater.
Okay. I'm guessing he didn't watch the movie Catch Me If You Can.
No.
Yeah, we did. Maybe he saw that one. Yeah.
It's so funny.
It goes to show you how smart of the common criminal is in Pennsylvania. Yeah, don't come over the border. Don't come over the border and tell him that you're stuck at Applebee's and you got held for ransom by some backroom sauté chefs at Applebee's for them serving some pre-packed garbage for you.
I mean, if that still did happen and he had the courage to go see a movie afterwards.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't see it being like too slippery for him to walk away from. Because I've seen some people that work at Applebee's and like they all look like crackheads to me. So I mean it's not for him to like fight off and then go to the movie somewhere. I don't know. Just me.
Story doesn't add up. We were at the Applebee's. Yes, dude.
We got $5 margaritas, and we didn't see you there.
Now let's spend $2,000 to put you in jail for the $250 you stole.
True. Story number two. PA man arrested for having too much fun on Memorial Day. Apparently, he was sunbathing in the nude on his roof.
Definitely.
This
It has to be true.
It's an ugly guy, but it's a fake story.
Oh, God.
Ah!
That's a fake story.
It is a fake story.
We wanted it to be true.
No parade. No raising the flag.
Part of me was like, maybe.
This is what it would look like.
Day in the life of a nude sunbather.
I do love that picture, though. That's great. That's a great.
That is a great
That's great.
Pinwheel sun.
Yeah, you can tell that the one's his leg and the other one's his arm, and then the third one we're not sure, but we know it's a guy.
True.
Probably another.
We're just guessing, yeah.
And that is very close to him. Insanely close.
That's
to
baking. That's baking his nether regions. He's got some shriveled bacon in between there. Minnesota man. That's a tricky one.
Minnesota makes more sense.
Story number 3, PA woman arrested for DUI for driving around a township mobile home park drunk while on her scooter. It is. It's a true story.
No explanation on this story.
That's every week, every time I go to a
Straight to the bar. She's driving a slow moving vehicle. What are they going to do? Arrest people for their electric wheelchairs next? What the hell's wrong with them?
right.
Any type of motorized vehicle is a DUI when you're drunk.
True.
It is.
Yeah. She forgot to put on a hat that said veteran, ex-cop, support the police. I guarantee they wouldn't pull her over then. Just, it's not a pure bias. Just throwing it
She has a couple flags in the back of her Jazzy.
She's got to put a disguise on. Or
Oh,
something,
yeah.
Work those driving.
She's guaranteed she's got like an inhaler in one hand and an oxygen tank in the other.
Yeah, she's got a big one sticker in the back, and they're like, "Oh boy, let's get her. Let's get her." And they smash into her with their car. She's injured from them smashing into her. Like, get down, breathalyzer now. They start shooting birds around.
Tase that bitch! Tase her!
What do we get in the bird? Like, how come they don't shut the blackbirds? What's wrong with these cops?
That is so fun.
Yeah, you know how those dudes, some of these small town cops, all they do is all they do is like prepare for their day by smoking meth and playing Call of Duty, and now they're ready to roll for their $10.50 an hour.
Oh yeah,
you never come with them because if you're arresting a little fat lady, disabled lady for a DUI in a trailer park, man, you got to go to therapy yourself.
She was actually doing some mild vandalism while she was in the park, running into trailers, running into cars with her scooter.
Okay, and that's terrible. That's terrible that she
was
ran
horrible.
into somebody's car. It's terrible. Oh boy, car's got a dent in it. I wonder if I can get insurance to pay for this crappy idea. She didn't murder. It's not like she ran over a 2-year-old. Like this is a very slow moving cemetery scene. Right?
Oh my gosh, she's coming to get me!
She's coming out really slow. The dad's like holding the scooter, trying to scoop up his kid. It's like, damn you, obese trailer park. How the hell does that happen? You get the obese people in trailer park.
It's horrible to laugh, but you know it's true.
I know, I'm like,
it's so true.
Hell, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I shouldn't be
It
laughing.
gets worse.
On to number 4. PA men arrested for breaking and entering. They were baffled when the man shut the door in their face. Hey, can we come in? Closed the door on them. They tried several times to enter the residence to no avail, while failing miserably, and they had their faces on several security cameras. This is a true story.
I know that's true. It's gotta be. They're
How dare you close the door in our face? We're trying to rob you.
were they?
These are the most polite burglars ever, I guess.
Weird.
Right?
Like, I mean,
Hey, can we come in there and rob your house? No, damn it. Yeah, not even a foot in the door in there. What are these, old vacuum cleaner salesmen sort of thing, or knife salesmen?
they're like, hi.
They were tricky. They were tricky about it, right? They had one guy that had a shotgun.
Okay.
One guy with a shotgun. He was the second guy. So second guy had the shotgun, right? As you can see through the picture right there. Right? Guy number 1 knocks on the door and he goes, "Hey, can we happen to talk to you for a minute?" And he opens up the door because he sees people outside his house through the security camera. So he opens up. He has a latch on his door, so he opens up. He doesn't open up the latch, but he opens up the door. And he's like, "Yeah, can I help you, gentlemen?" And he goes, "Hi, we'd like to talk to you about blah 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 blah." And that's how they get their foot in the door in order to try to get in. And he goes, "Oh, let me take the latch off the door," and quickly closes the door on him. Yeah, and just close the door right in on him. Apparently, they knew who he was because they were casing the joint. He had security cameras everywhere because he was trying to protect something in his house. Apparently, he had like tons of money, tons of cash, like all over his house somewhere. And these guys wanted to rob the crap out of him. But apparently they were so bad at their job, they forgot to load the shotgun.
And this is after they've been casing the place and gotten their faces all over his security cameras?
Every single one of them got on the security camera.
So we're talking about like burglars on the degree of Marvin Harry from Home Alone.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Bandit.
Yeah. Clear as day security cameras pointed at every corner of the house. And when you have security cameras outside your house, like you're trying to protect something, usually yourself, your family, you know, all your goods. They were casing the joint. They tried to break in with the shotgun, tried to do the thing. The guy had it all jammed up, like he had Fort Knox in his house, and they tried everything to bust in that door, and they couldn't.
Wow.
They tried kicking, they tried pounding,
Wow.
they tried saying, "Please open the door."
Please.
Yeah, it's like,
They went down the
really...
list of 4, maybe 5 things. Well, just wait for the police now.
Yeah.
We tried it all. We went down the list.
That's exactly what happened, brother. Exactly what
Maybe
happened.
trying tomorrow, maybe? Maybe we try
Yeah.
tomorrow. Maybe we've given up, you know.
Yeah, they heard police coming down the road. They all scattered, but of course they were caught.
Patient enough to case the place. I love it. Patient enough to case the place, but just maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, no follow through. Zero follow through.
Yeah. You lock the door. You're
dumb enough to case the place and not realize that they're leaving their images all over the cameras. that
Everywhere.
They're supposed to be casing. That's
that too. They probably did point out
like
the
the whole
cameras.
point of casing the place
Yeah.
is knowing where the cameras are.
Yeah.
And instead they're like, "There's one. Looks like a new one."
No.
Like,
Yeah, that looks brand new. Oh, that's pretty
Those
cool.
are probably just decoy cameras. This guy's smarter than we thought.
Let's get into story number 5. We'll never get through these stories in time.
I know, I'm so sorry.
PA couple arrested for calling cops to report a burglary. In their house, they had a grow house in the basement, a fully loaded AK-47, and 2, not 1, but 2 Nazi uniforms.
This may not be true, but I'm going to say this is a true effing story. It has to be.
It is a true story.
Swastikas.
Very true.
Please, what
It's very true.
It is a very true story. True story, is there anything in the house before we come in and investigate the robbery?
No. No. Just...
Oh, we got robbed, but you can't come in. Oh, well, why not, sir?
Somebody stole. Somebody stole a laboratory from the bottom. You see where those Nazi uniforms were? There's white robes right next to that idea.
Pay no attention.
And they're gone too.
Costumes behind the
Somebody
curtain.
stole half of our terrible things that we're not supposed to have anyway.
Yeah, it's like...
Oh, God.
Jesus, right?
Pennsylvania.
Now when you bring up marijuana and a Nazi suit, it sounds like the Nazi costumes were more just like ironic rather than hateful, but still pretty terrible all around because
It does in a way. It does in a way. Yeah.
Yeah. How many skinheads that get stoned all the time? They don't seem like stoner types.
No, they seem like they're real aggro. I feel like they probably could use some weed, but that's fine. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think they're...
All right, let's get into the last 5.
I want to be like, maybe.
Maybe smoke a doobie.
It's like, yo, look at this, we're stoned and we're Nazis, because if you're thinking of Cheech and Chong...
Maybe they're bedroom costumes. Maybe.
Yeah. If you throw Cheech and Chong in Nazi costumes,
who's...
something silly.
That's the Halloween costume of the year. It's going to be naughty Nazi girl.
What is that going to be like? The Amazon Prime costume right there?
Naughty Nazi. All right, let's get into these last 5 stories. We'll finally end this show on a great note. I hope you're ready for these last 5, Liz. These are going to be great. Starting out with story number 1. PA man arrested for aggravated assault after pulling Instagram pranks. He pulled out a fake gun on people, yelled at them, and pulled the trigger several times, and then filmed it on Instagram.
So the internet cut out for like a second, so all I heard was yelled at them for a couple minutes.
Okay.
That's all I got.
That's all right. I'll start it out again. PA man arrested for aggravated assault after pulling an Instagram prank. He pulled out a fake gun on people, yelled at them, and then pulled the trigger several times, and then filmed it to Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Story number 2.
Yeah, it sounds like he's bad at pranks, but go on.
Oh, horrible. Horrible at pranks.
He's doing it wrong.
Yeah. Story number 2, PA man arrested for selling heroin in a police parking lot. He said that it was the safest place to sell drugs. The Pennsylvania criminal mind strikes again.
I mean, it's really a toss-up. If you see no cop cars in the lot, they're not there.
True. Story number 3, PA man arrested for stealing World Series rings while applying for a job at Citizens Bank Park.
I guess you could be a thief and apply for other jobs too, right?
True.
Yeah.
They keep the rings at Citizens Bank Park?
We'll see what happens here. Story number 4, PA man arrested for a hair salon robbery spree. The last of one, which was a noted Philly mobster. They were arrested 1 hour later.
I'm going true on that one. No matter what. He said,
I don't know.
And story number 5, PA man arrested for calling himself the Swiss cheese pervert. Someone... I'm not going to say what he did with the Swiss cheese, but...
I think we can all guess.
You can guess. You can guess.
I'm pretty sure we know.
One of his victims recognized him from the dating site OkCupid and called the cops on him.
I'm guessing this guy's sex doll can go good on top of pizza sauce.
Basically.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. Oh no!
Liz, where'd you go? Where are you?
Sorry, I hit a button. My bad, I hit a button.
Don't be hitting buttons.
I'm back.
No.
I'm back.
All right.
I'm back.
Fun-loving, fun Pennsylvania stories. Kevin, we'll start out with you. What are you thinking, brother?
You know what? I'm just going to throw it out there. Liz, you kind of swayed me on this idea because I saw the way that you looked where that you said that, and it was a really good point, that they give out the rings at Citizen Stadium or whatever. So I'm saying story number 3 is false.
Okay.
No way they're doing that at the stadium.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I like where your head's at on this, Kevin.
Everything else sounds up to par, but a little sneaky on that one. I like the logic there, Liz. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you know.
All right.
Admittedly, I'm not a huge. My trivia doesn't really extend to sports, so I don't know.
But then again, it could be Pennsylvania and security. Pennsylvania and security normally don't go hand in hand, so they're just like.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know.
It's a wishy-washy story. It is.
Yeah, if somebody stole the Liberty Bell and they brought it down to that pawn shop down in Philly, they'd be like, "Oh, give me $100 for it."
Yeah, like, I have to agree with you. I think I agree with you. I think they all sound true except for that one. I don't know. There's just something about, do they keep the rings at the park like that?
See, security specialists, we're not security specialists, but even us, we would think, why do that?
Why do that? I know they get them all individually, but yeah, I don't know.
Sparkalicious, where are you and Stack Girl at? Thumbs up, you're all in. All right. Here we go down the special rabbit hole of Pennsylvania man. Starting out with number 1, PA man arrested for aggravated assault after pulling Instagram pranks. He pulled a fake gun on people, yelled at them, and pulled the trigger on the fake gun several times, only to post it to Instagram as a true story.
Yeah, that's classic.
Yeah.
Let me see this picture. Everybody get down.
When you don't have animals to torture, right? I guess you gotta go for real people.
Yeah.
Clearly a teen in Instagram, pulling a fake gun, making people run. Guess what that's gonna get you in Philadelphia, Liz?
I'm gonna say 20 years.
That'll get you at least 20 years, and it'll get your ass shot by someone with a real gun.
Yeah.
See, back in the 80s and 90s, people did not want to be on camera doing something illegal. Now you get followers, you can tweet from...
He had 100,000 followers.
Oh, yeah.
He had 100,000 followers.
For doing dumb shit.
Shit. Yeah. And you get 20 years. 20 years in the state pen.
Yeah.
Because you're pulling an armed... And that constitutes as an armed weapon.
That just seems like a really long time for an unloaded... Yeah, I don't know. I'm just
now you're gay in the stay for a... All right, let's get into number 2. We'll get this show ended, man. PA man arrested for selling heroin in a police parking lot. They said it was the safest place to sell drugs.
Oh, yeah.
True story.
Yeah, that also rings quite true. I don't know what it is about Pennsylvania criminals, but I feel like we're up there with Florida a little bit. Like,
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Florida, they were giving their alligators meth while banging their sisters, so we're probably a little bit ahead of them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but like we're real creative with our crimes.
That's true. That's true.
It's a little like, okay.
I love Sparky's picture here. It says, "I got the good stuff." The police are waiting inside.
You can tell what parking lot they're in because look at the sign that says police right there. See?
Yeah, there's a cracked out scarecrow in the.
With the hat on, she's like, what's going on out there? What's going on?
You crazy kid selling your heroin in the parking lot. Get up! You have some Mayberry kid. You have Barney Fife from Mayberry coming out. Hey, what are you doing? You don't have diabetes.
Just straight up stupidity.
Now they're
Straight up
heroin.
stupidity.
What's heroin?
Story number 3. This is going to be your favorite one. PA man arrested for stealing World Series rings while applying for a job at Citizens Bank Park.
True.
True story.
Really? They keep the rings there?
It was the... Sparky, what year was that? Was it in 2009?
2009, yeah.
2009 World Series. They were at Citizens Bank Park with the rings.
Wow. Why would they be there? I feel like that's the least safe place they could keep those rings.
You know, I totally agree. You could bring decoy. You could bring
replicas. Exactly.
Anyone, you could bring some decoy rings to the players just for the camera's sake, and then send the real ones in the mail.
See, you're thinking too much into this. There was a shady guy who got arrested and got brought down to the office in Citizens Bank Park.
Okay.
While he was down there, he said, hey, I have some gripes. I'd like to speak to some managers. Boom, boom, boom. He sees a manila envelope sitting on the desk with 3 rings on the inside of the manila.
Just doing chilling on the guy's
I don't know.
desk, though.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. These are
That's some horrible security.
Those better be in a case, like an attaché case. Like, why are they just chilling on my desk in an envelope?
Usually what happens is that they put them in the cases, right? And there's cases for the players, for each of the players that happen to win a ring.
And all the personnel get rings.
You get personnel.
Gets rings too, yeah.
Personnel gets the rings, such as coaches, assistant coaches, personnel, blah, blah, blah.
Office secretaries,
They don't get names put on their rings.
Right.
They just get generic rings, which are still worth thousands of dollars, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, they're still worth a lot, right?
It's tougher to steal a watch from Walmart than it is for that guy to take World Series rings.
That's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's cut into story number 4. PA man arrested for a hair salon robbery spree. The last one was of a noted Philly mobster. They were arrested an hour later. Is a true story.
I think I remember this.
It was a big one, a really, really big one. I'm trying to read the name.
Sparky, what does that say there? I can.
It says, "Oh wait, do you know who owns this salon?"
As you can see, they all have brain-sucking devices.
Either they're getting perms or they're getting hair.
Does it say salon or saloon?
It's the saloon.
What's wrong? Saloon is a
Even better.
Salon is for hair.
Damn it, Sparky, why doesn't your pen have spell check?
Yeah, why does your paper not have spell check, Sparky?
What's wrong with your paper? What kind of paper are you using?
Bad pen. Sad pen. Apparently they knocked off a salon of a noted Philadelphia mobster, and he sent out a hit to go get the guys. They gave up very quickly once they noticed that someone was after them.
Yeah. They found out Luca Brasi was looking for them. They knew they were in trouble.
Yeah. And there it is.
That'd be a good feeling.
That's the Godfather. You don't know who Luca Brasi is?
All I know is Kiss of the Ring, because you're my godfather. That's all.
Yeah, apparently he owns several salons, but this one that was hit on was his wife's salon. Kiss the ring. Kiss the ring.
He's my godfather, so Kiss of the Ring.
Yeah. Story number 5, PA man arrested for calling himself the Swiss cheese pervert. Apparently someone recognized him from his OkCupid dating site profile picture and then called the cops. It's a true story.
You want to hold that one up, or you want me to hold that
Why
one
don't you hold that up, because that's inappropriate.
up? Okay.
Oh no. Here it comes.
Read it.
I am the Swiss cheese pervert. Do you want to spread me? Hashtag from Munda is better.
Munda is better.
From Munda. It's from Munda the cheese. True story. I couldn't make that up any better.
Yeah, I mean, this is weird that it's not Wisconsin man with the cheese sex guy. We got, it's in Pennsylvania. A little surprising there. A little surprising.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that sounds like a story out of Florida or something.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah, old people like smelly things because their taste buds have been destroyed due to age. And so that's why they'll do, like, Swiss cheese on eggs with an extra raw onion. Just so that way they can feel like they're alive.
Some liverwurst. Something from Pennsylvania.
All sorts of old,
My dad loves liverwurst. I just...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Why?
Oh.
After the age of 70, even if something tastes bad, at least, they feel like they can still taste it. It's a weird thing. Yeah.
Well, Liz, thank you very much for playing the lovely Pennsylvania man with us.
Absolutely. That was hilarious.
Sparky, where are we next week as far as... we're going to the little state, Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Cool.
All right. And, Sparky, where can you happen to find us if you were looking for us?
You can find us on Facebook, Google, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Deezer, CastBox, Pocket Cast, Spotify, YouTube, GeoReel, and our phantom downloads from Pandora.
Yeah. True. Liz, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun, you guys.
I'm glad you had such a good time. Of course, tell your friends, tell your family to come and watch us. And of course, come and watch Liz in her next blockbuster movie. I'm not going to give out the name or the star that she'll be with, but I'm sure it'll be in the lovely silver screen of your choice.
I hope so.
Hopefully soon.
Okay.
Liz, would you like to plug anything?
I really don't have much to plug at the moment, but you can always find me on Facebook under Liz Priestley, and check back in with me on IMDb under Liz Priestley.
Perfect.
Love her.
All right. We're going to end this show on a great note. Thank you very much, Liz. I am Tony Kaz, followed by
Evan Neary.
And, of course, Pablo Picasso Sparkalicious. And Stat Girl, just her arm. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a great night.